All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. And check out Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in the Bay Area. They are open 7 days a week in Marin County from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Corte Madera. And you can catch them in Emeryville, open Wednesday through Sunday. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Well, one of the things that we're anticipating this summer is the quarterback competition in Niner camp in Santa Clara. Is it a two-way competition between Trey Lance and Sam Darnold? Is it a three-way competition between Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, and Brock Purdy? Is Brock Purdy going to be healthy and out there on the field, or is he going to be watching from afar as Darnold and Lance battle it out? And we know Lance and Darnold are likely to split the reps, but is it a 50-50 split? Is it a 90-10 split? Who should get more reps between Darnold and Lance, and how's that thing going to look? It's going to be really interesting to watch. It really is, because the 49ers, they've spent a lot of the offseason telling us that Brock Purdy is their guy, and it's his job to lose. But, you just heard Kyle Shanahan during the Dwight Clark event basically state that, you know, Trey Lance absolutely is looking the best he's ever looked, and he's going to have an opportunity to take this job back if he plays well. And then you've got, the Sam Darnold love, which really seems out of left field. But obviously, they signed Sam Darnold early. Steve Wilks is their defensive coordinator, handpicked, coming from Carolina. You got to think that Steve Wilks probably gave Sam Darnold the thumbs up to Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan already liked Darnold's traits, so it probably wasn't a hard sell. But Wilks, you got to think, is part of the equation after having just watched him last year as the interim head coach of the Panthers. He saw Sam Darnold maybe play the best football of his professional career in the final 6 games of the season. So I think it's very likely that Wilks pushed the 49ers, or at least nudged them towards Sam Darnold as a quarterback candidate to be part of this competition. So now, what's this competition ultimately going to look like? What are we going to see this summer? One of the things that we're going to see, I think, is we're going to see a real competition. Last year, theoretically, there was a competition. You had Trey Lance out there. He had no experience to speak of. You had Brock Purdy out there. He was in his first professional camp. You had Nate Sudfeld out there, and they were all taking reps. Jimmy was taking reps on the side field, but those three quarterbacks were taking reps. But it really wasn't a competition. It was three quarterbacks on the field at the same time working out, but it wasn't a competition. Trey Lance had that job. And nothing that Nate Sudfeld or Brock Purdy could do last summer was going to unseat Trey Lance as the 49ers starting quarterback. So it really wasn't a competition. Were they out there? Sure. Were they doing the same drills? Yeah. Was somebody watching the drills? Yeah. Were they evaluating the drills? Yeah. But they weren't really competing because Sudfeld and Purdy were never really given that opportunity. The question is, what's the competition going to look like this summer? Well, one, we don't even know if Brock's going to be out there. Kyle Shanahan says that Brock will be cleared by camp. So there's a chance that he will be out there. There's a chance that it won't be Sam Darnold against Trey Lance, that it'll be the Brock Purdy show, and that he'll be, running the drills and out there doing his thing. So that's possible. But it's also possible that when he starts to throw, they say, you know what? We're going to give this some time. And he may not be in part of this competition. He may not be able to throw at all, for all we know. That information is still coming, and we don't know where Brock's elbow stands. We did see Clayton Thorson throw the ball well, coming off a similar procedure. But everybody heals differently. Everybody's body's different. Who knows? Maybe Brock Purdy doesn't heal as fast as Clayton Thorson. Maybe he does. Maybe he hits the ground running and it's like he was never gone. Or maybe he's diminished forever and he's never the same. I mean, I think all of these things are possible. So you got Brock maybe in this competition, maybe not. He might be the leader in the clubhouse, ready to take over the starting job as soon as he gets healthy. Or he may be on the field next to Lance and Darnold this summer, making throws and competing side by side. We really don't know. One of the things that I want to see is Trey Lance get the ball out of his hand. There were a number of times this summer where he dropped back to pass, surveyed the field, went through his progressions, and the play ended with him holding the football. That's not by design. That's indecisiveness. The ball should have came out. He should have thrown it. He just didn't. And it happened a ton of times. I would say it happened at least 10, 12 times over the course of camp. So I want to see less of that. I want to see the ball coming out of his hand on time with accuracy. I want to see him throw with tempo and throw with accuracy. The other thing is you got to hit the layups. It's one thing to hit, the ball down the field between defenders. That's great and that's awesome. And you need that, but you got to make the layups. So, a lot of the passes are going to be within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. You got to hit guys in the hands. You got to hit the running back in the flat. You got to hit the slant. You got to hit the 5 yard out. You got to hit the 10-yard out. You got to put it in a small window. And we're going to find out how accurate Trey can be this summer. But when it comes right down to it, as far as splits, do you want to see a 50-50 split with Sam and Trey splitting the reps 50-50? Let's just say Brock is not getting any reps this summer. I don't. I would rather it be like a 60-40 Lance, maybe 70-30 Lance, simply because there's a lot invested in Trey Lance. And Sam Darnold's coming off of a 6-game stretch where he played some of his best ball at the end of the year, and he's been out of college for 5 years. So he's got reps. Trey Lance is the one who needs the reps. So I want to see Trey Lance get reps, especially early on. And so I don't want it to be 1 rep for Sam, 1 rep for Trey, 1 rep for Sam, 1 rep for Trey. I want it to be more like, 70-75-25 or 70-30 Trey or 60-40 Trey. I want Trey to get the majority of the reps because Trey needs the reps. And if you're ever really going to find out about what Trey is, he's going to have to get into a rhythm. And to get into a rhythm, he's going to have to get reps. Where's the best place to get those reps? In practice, especially if Brock Purdy's not there. So to me, the quarterback situation this summer is going to be riveting. Do the 49ers want, just roll the ball? I mean, part of me thinks that Kyle Shanahan absolutely wants a full-blown competition. Here it is. We don't know who's our guy, but we're going to find out. And everybody's getting an equal opportunity, and let's go. But then part of me says, no, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to go into it with Brock's their 1, Trey's their 2, Darnold's their 3, and the reps may be divvied up, and all 3 guys may be getting reps, but Brock's getting the most if he's healthy, Trey's getting the second most if he's healthy, and Darnold's getting the third most. But maybe that's not what we're going to see. We may wind up, Kyle Shanahan has talked openly about how much he admires Sam Darnold's game. And the one thing that you can say definitively here is that every single one of these 3 quarterbacks hits the ground with something to prove. Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. He's been walking around with a chip on his shoulder for over a year. Too small, too this, too that, not big enough, not strong enough, doesn't have this, doesn't have that, even in the midst of going undefeated in the regular season and winning 2 playoff games. There's still all kinds of Niner fans that will put out on Twitter, he's not this, dink and dunk and all the different ways that you can disrespect Brock Purdy. He has been disrespected. He's a game manager. He's a dink and dunk artist. He doesn't have high enough upside to win the big one. Blah, 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 blah. He's got a massive chip on his shoulder. He's got boulder shoulder from all the disrespect that's come his way. Trey Lance, I'm sure, is feeling like, hey, man, I was the 3rd pick overall, but I got to get out there. I got to make it happen. There's some urgency to Trey, I'm sure. Trey knows that he can't sit forever. And in the NFL doesn't last forever. You got to make it happen, and he's got to make it happen right now. He's played 1 full year of football since high school. He needs to play. He needs to play right now. There's tremendous urgency to Trey. But who's got the most urgency is probably Darnold, because Sam Darnold has sucked. He's been terrible. Sam Darnold was bad for the New York Jets. And even though he was better with the Panthers, he still had moments of the old Sam Darnold. In a lot of ways, this is the final stop for Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold can't make it happen in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan calling the plays, with his unbelievable play action run pass fusion offense, with his weapons galore, Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, all kinds of weapons, with a killer defense that's going to get you back the ball and keep the games close. If Sam Darnold can't do it here, guess what? Sam Darnold can't do it, period. So there's huge urgency for Darnold, for Lance, and for Purdy. All three of these guys. Does Shanahan and Lynch roll the balls out there and just say, guys, make it happen? And are they okay with whatever results come from this competition? Is it truly an open competition where guys are on an even playing field and you know what? Whatever happens, happens. If Sam Darnold plays the best, then damn it, Sam Darnold's the number one quarterback. Even if Brock's healthy, if Darnold outplays him, he's the guy. Or is it like, hey, if Brock's out there, he's the guy? Is it an open competition or is it defined? Is Brock the one, Trey's the two, and Sam's the three? Or are they all just quarterbacks with an opportunity and there's the ball, there's the field, make it happen? We really don't know. We don't really know. We don't know if Brock's going to be healthy and out there. We don't know if the Niners, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are up for this full bore. It could be anybody's job. Go fight it out, gentlemen. Or if it's going to be really defined. They really have already evaluated that Brock's their number one, that Trey's their number two, and that Darnold's there to be insurance on injury or development of those two young guys. We don't know. We don't know if Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, if Brock's not healthy, are going to split the reps 50-50. For all we know, it could be 50-50. But for all we know, it could be 90-10 Trey. It could be 75-25 Darnold, for all we know. We don't know. There's a lot of unknowns in this quarterback battle. But I'll guarantee you this, it's going to be the biggest story in Niner camp, and it's going to be one of the biggest stories around the NFL. There ain't no running away from that. There ain't no hiding from it. That's the way it is. The 49ers are a big-time team. They're an iconic franchise. They're one of the favorites in Vegas to go to the Super Bowl. They've been to the last two NFC championship games. They're inside their Super Bowl window, and they don't know who their quarterback is. That makes that subplot one of the biggest subplots in the entire league. The NFL Network's going to park their cameras in Santa Clara. We're all going to be rolling on it every single day, discussing it, analyzing it, breaking it down. It's on in Santa Clara. But what we don't know are the particulars. Is it 50-50 Lance Darnold? Is it 90-10 Lance Darnold? Is it 90-10 Darnold Lance? Is Purdy going to be out there? Is it his job to lose? Is it a wide open competition? And what is it all going to look like? It's going to be riveting, folks. It's going to be absolutely riveting. One of the biggest sports stories in the NFL is who is going to be the number one quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. And thanks to all of you for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.